once, the staff of KRASNERLAND has a hopeful outlook for Philadelphia after a very, very positive mayoral primary. We'll get into that. That's all this week in KRASNERLAND. We won. We had the anti-Helen Gim push. So let's step back a little bit. Philadelphia mayoral primary this past Tuesday. Helen Gim, a hyper-progressive, running against Sherelle Parker, a very similar to Larry Krasner individual, gets blown out. I think that's the way to put it. Blown out by the moderate candidate in Sherelle Parker. It seems Philadelphians are sick of this crap, and they've had enough of the Krasner-like policies. Dom, your thoughts on this mayoral election that saw Sherelle Parker take the cake?
Yeah, and even national people, News Nation, Dan Abrams had me on, and it was about this. That's the way they're seeing it. I'm not fully seeing that yet. I think some of it is that Helen Gim's obnoxious and Sherelle Parker is just a free-spirited, joyous spirit. But interesting for the Krasner moving forward thing, that she did very well, Helen Gim, in these white insulated, the pickleball zone of Philadelphia, Chestnut Hill, Rittenhouse Square, and the pickleballers,
the rich people,
29% of the vote there. Those are places where the average individual is making over $100,000 a year. She only got 11% in communities, usually minority communities, where people are making under $50,000 a year. And those are the places that have been ravaged by crime. They're not insulated. The pickleball zone is insulated. And that told a lot of the difference. So here's what it means going forward. With Larry Krasner, we still have some time until we get re-election and all that going. You're not going to take him out in one shot. But it tells me it's diminishing for him in these communities that are hard hit. And what's going to be interesting, though, is to see what Sherelle Parker does. She wants to show results, not just on homicide numbers. What came out of this campaign, I think even more importantly, people are just kind of, they see it as a norm, and you got it to get through a day in Philadelphia. But they hate the retail theft, unusual thing, of someone just walking in and saying they want to steal stuff. Sherelle Parker is going to crack down on the latter, that type of stuff directly. It offends her personally. And she'll say, I'm unapologetic. She might tackle somebody there if it's in a store with enough stuff. What's Krasner going to do then? This is always the thing. Yeah. And I told the candidates, as you know, and viewers know, look, I realize Krasner is a particularly hard nut to crack, but all this other stuff around public safety and all, got to come back to him. He is the straw that stirs the drink in Philadelphia.
Sharon writes in, I hope Sherelle turns the city around. I think we do too. Do you think there's any chance that Sherelle, now that she's elected, goes back on anything she told us? Does that concern you at all?
No, these are heartfelt types. Look, she's more liberal on some things, like maybe abortion or something like that, than I am. But on public safety, how many times did she use the word unapologetic? She sees it clearly, and Helen Gim didn't push back. She is a well-spoken, passionate, energetic African-American woman. And even Helen Gim could beat up on Jeff Brown and call him Captain Obvious. By the way, if I were coaching that guy, right there, I would have dropped the gloves, dropped the mic, and gone over and gotten another mic and said, I don't care what you're doing, Channel 29. This is going to stop with this woman. What would Jeff Cole have done? Sir, sir, sir. If I were in the audience, I'd come jumping out. I have a mic.
So Helen Gim losing here.
Issue. She's not going to be for safe injection sites. She is going to try to recruit more cops. She's going to go all out. She will be for the cleanliness campaign. I got to see it, though, 24 hours a day. I told that to Dan Abrams yesterday. He went, what the hell's going on in Philadelphia?
Yeah. So Helen Gim is out now, and you have Sherelle Parker in there.
Right.
David O, I mean, the Republican candidate I'd say he had a decent chance against someone like Helen Gim.
Yes.
Do you think he has any path that the Republican candidate and David O could supersede Sherelle Parker in an election?
I don't see him winning, but I think he can be more than respectable. And I would say he could get 30 to 32% of the vote, maybe 34 to 35. Interesting how he's attacking her, too. I don't think it's going to work with our listeners per se. Libertarian approach. He doesn't like stop and frisk. He thinks that's government overreach. She has clearly said, Dan, and I had to read, for going on the Abrams case yesterday, I had to read quickly like 10 or 12 pages of commentary on the Terry Supreme Court decision, which said police can do this. It's all in the manner, it's all in the frequency of it, etc. That's what they did in New York under Rudy Giuliani. David is going to try to link that to other government overreach.
Probable cause too
Who's that going to play with?
I know probable cause is also a
Yes.
term that's used often in constitutional versus unconstitutional stuff.
Yes. Yeah. In other words, Dan, the key thing to stop is particularly felons walking around with guns that are illegal. If they have to go and get a gun, whatever the dispute is or whatever's going on, you have more of it. That's what they did in New York. So it's got to be careful. I mean, we want to protect civil liberties. I don't see who the audience is, though, for David O making that argument against Sherelle Parker. He made the argument on my show yesterday, and I went back and forth with him. I don't see the argument linking that to too much taxation and things like that. I'm not seeing it.
And the reason why we're so excited about this new development in the mayor race is Kenny, very left-leaning, similar to Krasner, enables stuff like what we're about to see continue to happen. And this kind of, it's funny because this, when it first started happening, was so shocking, but it's happened so many times in Philadelphia, it's kind of just a footnote of the news at this point. But take a listen.
Thieves left behind a trail of damage while trying to steal cash from an ATM in Philadelphia. You can see the front of the machine here was blown right off. Police say 3 people placed an explosive device on this ATM on the 3500 block of North 17th Street in Tioga Nicetown around 3:40 this morning. They ran off when they realized that they could not access the actual cash box.
Yeah, the boldness of like coming in and having a dolly to put the thing on and then smashing it with hammers or something is amazing. Where's the police response in things like this? It's almost non-existent. By the way, where is Danielle Outlaw these days?
Yeah, seems. Remind us, Sherelle Parker, she didn't give a commitment on whether or not she'd keep Danielle, right? She said personnel decisions.
That was one of the flaws. She said she wouldn't do it during a campaign. And I probed several times on all of them. And we had wild stuff. Alan Dom said he would rehire her. He thought Kennedy was the problem. Amon Brown said take her out big time. Amon Brown was the most pro law and order morale for the police. But it appears in the minds of many that there were mistakes, not ready yet to run citywide, but he's only 35.
Minnie writes in, Dom, is Freddie the cat nearby in the Dom Dome? She'd love to see him.
Yeah, he's right next door, this wall over here, this way, yes.
Oh, okay. He's hanging out with
I have to bring Freddie in sometime. He is he is the most handsome member of Rose 4 Boys. That's problem. He's got this fur that is just, even for a cat, unbelievable. Yes, it's disgusting. We have to deal with it.
I think your sons would also agree with that sentiment as well.
Oh, yeah. He is.
Dom, a little close to home. This is like, if you were to throw a stone from my house, you probably hit where this happened.
People fled the scene of a crash after a police pursuit. State police were chasing the car near the 2800 block of Richmond Street in the city's Port Richmond section when it crashed. 2 people inside the vehicle that was crumpled ran from the scene. Canine units were called to a construction site on Ann Street to search for them. They have not found them yet, while state police have not revealed why they were in pursuit of the vehicle in the first place.
I know the exact construction site.
Maybe Megan and Harry might be able to update us on that crash in Port Richmond. There was word that they were chased in New York and they ended up here.
When I saw that on the news, though, it says, oh, yeah, the dog canine unit sniffing a construction site over on Ann Street. I know exactly where the construction site is. I walk my dog past the same exact construction site. It's like, yep, it's now coming up to my doorstep. These criminals, hiding out after a police chase right next door. Awesome. Great. Also, Dom, SEPTA continues to rear its ugly head. The safety issues there.
Now to other news headlines we're following today.
Uh-oh, I'm messing up here. What am I doing here?
Is that the 52nd Street shooting?
This is the Route 33 bus in North Philly. 21st Diamond. Yeah. I mean, there are multiple. It's sad, but SEPTA's seen a crazy, crazy week. There we go.
Now to other news headlines we are following today. 2 young men shot on a SEPTA bus. Guys were sent over the scene right around noon in North Philadelphia. This is the Route 33 bus stopped at 21st and Diamond Streets. Police say an 18-year-old man was shot once in the groin. Another 18-year-old man was grazed by a bullet in the thigh. Police say both victims are stable. So far, no word on a motive and no arrests.
Yep.
Well,
Fun riding the buses, not only the
Yeah,
trains, but the buses too.
David O, to his credit, has not thrown his hand up. I don't know what Sherrod Parker will do, but he talked about starving the funding and going after SEPTA that way. SEPTA, I still maintain, and I know people can't believe this, is worse than Philadelphia city government, or it's worse than the Philadelphia public schools, in my view, or it's very close. They just are this bipartisan coalition of people that have billions of dollars and do whatever the hell they want, which is not to do anything.
That's a great point. Minnie writes, and Dan wears his aviator sunglasses like Resident Biden. Are those? I thought aviator sunglasses were in style, but I guess Biden's killing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharon says, Richmond and Ann, me too, Dan. I guess me and Sharon might be pretty close neighbors.
Yeah.
Might maybe run into her before. Dom, this is what you're talking about, the 5200 block. Take a watch.
Well, Keith, police have identified that victim as 14-year-old Wart Whipple from the city's Frankfurt neighborhood. And today, investigators are revealing new details about what happened right before he was killed.
It looks like it was a fight that ended in gun violence, which seems to be the story we have quite a bit. So it's very brazen.
Philadelphia police say that brazen shooting on the platform of SEPTA's 52nd Street station Saturday claimed the life of 14-year-old Wart Whipple from the city's Frankfurt neighborhood.
It looks like a confrontation, a fight ensued where physical confrontation, a punch was thrown. At some point, our offender in this case pulled out a firearm and fired one.
Deputy Commissioner Frank Venor says surveillance cameras captured the suspect, who was also seen running from the scene and down the platform stairs towards 54th and Chestnut, where he tried to burn evidence.
We found some clothing which matched the description we had from the video. There's a denim style pants, and it was a black hooded sweatshirt, which we
Just
think
another ridiculous situation.
How's the guy running away, taking off his pants and burning it there, Dan, and going anywhere?
All right, let me go back to that. Here you
we
go.
had from the video. There's a denim style pants, and it was a black hooded sweatshirt, which we think we have recovered.
School district officials tell NBC 10 Whipple is the 26th student who died by gun violence so far this academic year. Last Thursday, 17-year-old Nazim Rains was shot and killed while walking in Germantown. 2 other teens and a 7-year-old boy were also injured.
I mean, public transportation isn't one of the purposes to get children to school.
Yeah. Remember, Helen Gim was going to take them in school buses past all these things. The reason I mentioned 52nd Street, do not get off, don't go anywhere near there. I think it was the 4th shooting on that platform in just the last 3 months. That is an astounding number. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just had the next queuing up the next thing here. Amin Hurst, the guy that jumped out of the facility, Northeast Correctional Facility, was captured.
Morning, and it was caught on video in dramatic fashion. The man who escaped prison 10 days ago was pulled from a vehicle on Washington Avenue near 61st Street in Southwest Philadelphia. U.S. Marshals have been tracking Hurst since he escaped from a Philly prison with another inmate on May 7th. According to a source, authorities believe Hurst broke free, then left the state, may have traveled to New York before returning to Philly, where he was once again captured. The U.S. Marshals and Philadelphia police, along with other law enforcement agencies, have been working tirelessly to find the escapee, who again is accused of 4 murders. The marshals say they started negotiating with one of Hurst's relatives Tuesday.
All right. I think we got the point, but thankfully that kid is back in jail where he deserves to be.
The U.S. Marshals, too. It's not Tommy Lee Jones, but these guys are good. They did all kinds of things to get these people back behind bars. When are they going to end their investigation, Dan? What the hell do you need? How do you just walk out of prison? They got the 4 people. Now, the head of the prison, when does she go?
That's a good question. Vote of no confidence, right, for that person?
Yeah.
Now we have NBC News. I think this is a targeted hit. I don't know. This is nuts. But up in Ronhurst, you see this? The 30 plus bullets fired into the pickup truck. Just for the image sake. I mean, it looks like something out of a movie. Take a watch.
Ambush investigation in the Northeast. Police say 2 gunmen shot and killed a man inside his truck, and the man's wife was there as well. NBC 10's Matt DeLucia is live in Ronhurst. Matt, still an active scene right now where you are.
Look at this truck.
Yeah, Aaron, it is still an active
Wow.
crime scene. The tape is still up, and right behind me is the pickup truck. You can see all the bullet holes there in the window. The shooting happened around 1:30 here on the 7400 block of Whitaker Avenue. Now, here's what we know at this point. A 34-year-old man was in that driver's seat of the pickup. His wife told police they were just coming home, and he was backing the truck into the driveway when two males approached and started firing shots, at least 30 shots from two guns. 15 bullets hit the driver's side of the truck. Now, police say that the victim was hit multiple times in the chest and torso, and he later died at the hospital. All of this happening while the man's wife was right there.
So the reason why I say I think it's a hit, I mean, the man's wife,
yeah.
Okay, there.
Yeah,
I watched
she
enough of The
would've been
Wire
hit,
to realize. Yeah.
And the thing is that Whitaker Avenue used to be not bad. Again, it's the whole thing of Northeast Philadelphia, the encroachment of KRASNERLAND, which used to be only like a mild shade. Now it's red, KRASNERLAND in lower Northeast Philly.
What's this bike ride about? The ride of silence? Is that there's a ride in silence that the Bike Coalition does every year. And I guess Fox 29 reporter was out there covering it. And this happened. Watch closely her shirt here. She gets hit with
pellets.
With some pellets from like a pellet gun, right?
Yeah.
Take a watch.
Museum where they raised their bikes in the air and also held another moment of silence. Okay, so somebody just hit me with pellets, obviously. Oh. Okay. If you'd like more information or to help out with this bike ride, you can go to fox29.com. You're okay. Philadelphia. Are you okay, Shawnette? Yeah. I am standing here talking to you, okay?
Thoughts, Dom?
Yeah, the stupid bike lane people. That's the fixation. And then right there at their event, you have, it looks like it's in Center City to me, maybe. You have somebody that just shoots you on the live news. You could have shot him in the eye. Yeah. Hey, they ought to have security. Again, my policy under all media sources is you can never have enough guys with no necks. Get the no neck guy. You don't have any trouble. They shoot him with the pellet. Then you have the other guy to back up to the no neck guy, the marksman guy.
And just, I mean, thank God it was just pellets, you know?
Yeah.
It's
yeah. What's it going to take is someone bold enough with that to be there? I would hunt that person down. That's the way I feel what's missing here with Outlaw and others. Frank Rizzo would say, this is such an act of defiance. Hunt this guy. Well, that's not a good use of police resources. Kick in the door, drag him out, bring him in, and show the rest of the city he only fired pellets. What do you think is going to happen with you if you're doing something beyond this?
Yeah, it's a nut situation. You see this? I want to close. Occasionally, we like to play videos that bring our listeners what it's like to be a police officer in today's day and age.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's a video that's gone viral now from Iowa. Did you see this Iowa situation? So take a watch here. You have a police officer who makes a traffic stop. I put up a warning, a disclaimer there. Very graphic language. You're going to hear a lot of curse words here. So if you got children, you might want to turn it down. But take a watch at what this officer has to go through as he's trying to make a police stop, Dom. This is fascinating video footage. Take a watch.
Stop the car, man! Stop the car! Stop the car! Stop the fucking car! Stop the fucking car! Stop the fucking car! Stop it! Stop the car! Stop the car! Get off the fuck! Put on the goddamn brakes! Put on the fucking brakes!
So there he is on top of the hood there.
Oh man, I want this guy in Philadelphia.
Fucking car, man! Jesus! Stop the car, man!
Oh my God!
Yeah, it turns into a full car chase.
Oh. He deserves to be shot right there.
Just, cops, what they have to go through, man. This is nuts.
It looks like he's going 50 or so.
Yeah. Turns to a chase, follows him down. So you see the officer ejected there, finally off the hood of the car into a ditch. Broken vertebrae. He is expected to make a recovery. But just an absolutely horrific situation, huh, Dom? Like, could you imagine being I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I'll have that for you on tomorrow's show. Tune in to Dom Giordano program tomorrow at noon to find out more on that information. But the guy
totally justified to shoot him. That put his life
You
at
think
risk.
so? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Your life's in danger at that point, right? I'm just pulling up here to see if I can get an answer.
I mean, what are the odds of holding on, going 50 and back and forth, et cetera there, Dan? Yeah.
All right, so this is actually 2 years ago. It happened in March 5th, 2021, but the body cam footage is just coming out. This was a gentleman by the name of Guider. Guider pled guilty March 2023, 2 years after the initial. Okay. And during the sentencing, Guider's attorney asked the judge for leniency. Yeah.
You know, I think I should call Mary Gay Scanlon and get her opinion on this, since she's so much pro the police and the FBI, at least, showing up at your house with automatic weapons. So I'm sure she would commend the cop in this.
Yeah. Yeah. Ipsos says there's probably an edit out there to make it out like the guy running was an actual victim to try to change the narrative. Yeah, he wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Wow. That is incredible how he held on that long.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a fascinating video. And I mean, kudos to police officer for trying to keep us safe and putting his life on the line. And again, I play that video. I mean, that's a anomaly. I mean, police officers in their daily lives aren't sitting on the hoods of cars, but it's just a prime example of the crap that police officers are willing to do to keep the general populace safe and the overall benefit that they bring to society.
Well, their biggest problem day to day, you're right, is not that. Their biggest problem is, what might Krasner do to me if I make a wrong move? After all, I'm a cop. What might a mayor like Helen Gim do? And what might a police commissioner who doesn't back the troops do? I mean, who is it the biggest backer of the police in Philadelphia? The answer, 1210 WPHT.
It's true. It's very true. And I think the police know that too. Police, you often hear police officers call into the show and thank us for, because police are incredibly important to a safe and sound society. So that's all we got today on KRASNERLAND. Again, it's a more upbeat KRASNERLAND than usual, I must say, because I think Dom and I both have a glimmer of hope for the future of Philadelphia after seeing Sherrell Parker win that Democratic primary.
Right. And I would tell people to give this a chance. You know, there's some people already, even on my Twitter, putting stuff up, same old, same old. I don't see it that way. I mean, she's not going to do what David O would do, Sherrell Parker, but the plan is working. Our plan was to have somebody like her and David O. If David O wins, very good. If she wins, you're getting somebody who's strong on public safety. That's the main thing.
Final thing, I missed this comment. Sharon says, yeah, your life is in danger. It's referring to that cop, but look what happened to the Marine on the subway in New York City. You know, that's debatable there, but again, it's another instance of a person trying to do the best for society, and the justice coming down on him.
Defense fund is over $2.6 million, I think. Yeah. Wow. That's a lot of lawyers to buy.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got on today's KRASNERLAND. It was a very easy to prepare for week, especially with the mayoral election. But Dom and I will indeed pray and hope that we have a much safer week here in Philadelphia and nothing to talk about on next week's KRASNERLAND with a safe week. But that's not been the case here in Philadelphia. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. But Dom, tomorrow noon, the Dom Giordano program. Join us live. We'll have Kathy Barnett at 1:30 tomorrow. Kathy Barnett joins.
And she and a group of other conservatives, many of them African Americans, are in Chicago apparently to make the point that people are tired of all these issues. I'd like to see one in Philadelphia right now too, but in front of Larry Krasner's office.
I would too. I just want to give an update. We had a very important poll today, and I just want to give an update.
Oh, yes. That must mean you're winning. So I got to get busy.
So on the Dom Show, we often talk about Krasner and crime and national politics, and then sometimes we delve into more questionable topics, such as today when we were talking about the most unfaithful states in the United States. And Dom revealed that Pennsylvania and Delaware both have pretty high numbers on faithfulness.
Well, Delaware is number one.
Yeah, Delaware's number one. But in those numbers, you mentioned that being accounted in the cheating unfaithfulness are, quote, lap dances.
Yes.
And that caused me to ask, is a lap dance by a professional, a stripper in a club, truly considered cheating? And we posted it up on Twitter. Is a lap dance from a professional cheating? And Dom, right now, 65.6% out of 96 votes say no, it is not cheating.
All right, I have to get busy on this.
Yeah, so for more like that, please tune in tomorrow at noon. Dom Giordano program will be live on Dining with Dom, as we are every day from noon until 1. And then we'll see you next week right here on KRASNERLAND, Thursday at 4 p.m.
Get a legal opinion from Larry Krasner, please, on the lap dance.
Well, he's very progressive. I'm sure there's more that you would consider not cheating.
Yes.
Have a good day, everybody.